Great. Well, thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is Aprille Franks Hunt, the CEO of Women Recharge and the founder and creator of Coach Speak and Serve. And look, and then Deborah's the only person that says she can't hear me. That's funny. Um, Everyone, make sure your volume is on. Make sure you are in the group. Thank you. Make sure you are in the group on Facebook, Coach Speak and Serve Accountability. Just type it in the search. Yes, share the link with your friends outside of the group as well, so the people who are on the same journey as you can also gain the valuable information that we're going to be going through as the evening progresses. This is going to be a 90-minute training, so bear with me just a couple minutes. I am making sure that we have all of our bells and whistles together and all of our printables and all the stuff that we want to make sure that I have for you together. So if you can hear me, just post in the group. Asa, make sure everyone can hear me, which I think they can. So I just want to double check. So what I want to do this evening, this entire, and most of you all have heard about this training through either Facebook or you're on my email list or you're subscribed to Women Recharge or connected to me in some way. So this is all about amplifying your impact and revenue. You know, amplifying your impact and revenue as an entrepreneur, coach, speaker, writer, author, or soon to be. Either you're existing or you are new to the business or you're deciding if this is something you even want to do. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity tonight to share with you not only a little bit more about me, but the training, the impact, how you can do that, laying a solid foundation and generating the type of revenue that you want to generate. Before we get started, a couple house rules. If you have any questions, please, Debbie Martinez, and Asa LeBeau are in the Coach and Speak and Serve group. They'll be answering your questions. They'll be sending me questions so that I can answer them live online. Also, if you are on Twitter, make sure you're following me at Women Recharged, and that's WOMENRECHARGED. Right? And if you hear anything that's amazing that you want to tweet, the hashtag is Coach Speak Serve. So if you can just get that out there, let everyone know that you are on the Coach Speak Serve training tonight and you're excited about what you're about to learn. And I'm excited about giving it to you. So let me just share a little bit about why I started in this business. Right now, I'm coming to you from my office. I'm in Oklahoma City. I have a team of people here. Asa's here helping out, providing support. My assistant, Kelly Abernathy, is here as well, working late. We all have been diligently for the past several weeks working to provide something that we believe is going to be useful. And if you've been a part of the group on Facebook, the Coach Speak and Serve group, then you know the type of and the level of information that we want to make sure that you all have available to you. The reason why I started this really was this, and when I say this, I mean this company, this business really came from a need myself. It came from being fired, from a job that I called my dream job. It came from being unsure. It came from having, something pulling in my stomach over and over again that I should be doing something more. I should be doing something bigger. I should be serving in some larger way, but I didn't really know what that looked like. And, as the years progressed, I'll say, let's see, I got fired in 2007. I had to file for bankruptcy. My house went into foreclosure. It was a really rough time. I was a single mother at the time. My daughter was 8 years old, and it was an extremely rough time. It was that 2008, 2009 shift where the economy kind of took a turn in some different areas, and I was definitely in the mix with that. So for me, the whole Coach Speak and Serve piece really started back then before I even knew that this is what I would be doing. I really thought that I would be and knew I would be helping people. I just wasn't sure how, and I definitely wasn't sure on how I was going to generate a sustainable revenue doing it. I think most of us are in the space where we want to help people, we want to serve. That's why we're here. That's why we speak. That's why we share our stories. That's why we show up on stages. But then we're not really sure how to make a bigger impact, meaning reach more people and be more intentional about it. And we're not sure how you can also then generate a sustainable revenue. Some of you, may have had some, okay success, but it's not enough on a consistent basis. And what we want to talk about tonight is how you build that on a consistent basis. Okay, so for myself, one of the challenges that I had when I first started as a speaker, coach, author, was I had that one thing, and that was it. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know where to go for coaching. I didn't even know I needed coaching. I didn't know, that there was a process and that there was a system of in a certain way that things should be done so that it made sense, so that I wasn't running raggedy, right? So that I wasn't stressed out, so that I wasn't, operating out of integrity from exhaustion and just all of those things. So how do, you go from not knowing to knowing? How did I go from not knowing anything, because there was no rule book, there was no coaching, here's how you do it, and don't make a bunch of mistakes, don't waste your time at a bunch of conferences, don't invest in a bunch of programs that aren't serving you. I didn't get the memo on any of that. I just did, and I did, and I did. And most of what I did was very beneficial. I learned on either side. Either it was great and I learned, or it wasn't so great and I learned. So either way, I attribute all of those things to my success. But what I want to do is minimize or eliminate those barriers for you. So what we created is something really amazing. And I want to jump into the training. So a couple things. If you are on, you should have received a packet, a link to download your packet that says Amplify, Impact, and Revenue Live Training. So you should have that, right? And you can either have it up on your screen. We sent you the Word doc so you can actually type in it, or you can print it out and you can handwrite. I like to handwrite. So either or, make sure you have that. It was also in the email. So if you have that email that I just sent out at about 10 till, then download that so you can follow along, because that's the guide and the order on which I'm going to be teaching this evening. Okay, so again, if you have questions, post them in the group. If you have a calculator, get one. If you're using your cell phone, use that. And let's get started. So one thing I want to share is, even though as a coach, as a speaker, as an author, I want to talk about for a moment how they all are intertwined together, right? Because some people, they write a book, but they don't want to speak or think they need to coach. And I'm not saying you have to do all three. I'm saying that there is a nice marriage there. There is a nice relationship there that can be had if you know how to leverage them all, right? So, and then there are, those pieces where it's like, well, am I a coach, or am I a speaker, or am I an author, or am I a this? You're an entrepreneur. And the platforms you're using to reach your audience is maybe coaching, speaking, and writing. It's really that simple. You're an entrepreneur, and you're utilizing various platforms as your foundation for reaching your audience and for serving them in the way that you say that you are putting yourself out there, in the way that you are helping them. Okay, so just be thinking about, your foundation, and the fact that they do have a nice marriage. And this is what I say about that. So, for instance, if you're an author, most people probably had maybe written a book first. Okay, so if you wrote the book and you may be saying to yourself, but I don't want to speak. But speaking is really a natural connection to becoming an author, because people want to hear you talk about it. If you wrote the book, people want to hear you talk about it. So that leads to you standing on a stage, standing in front of a room, full of people who are interested in your topic, or interested in how you did what you've done, or how you've overcome some obstacle. Okay. And then, so you're in front of the stage, and there's so much you can do from the stage, right? There's only so much you can do from the stage. And that is to show people a commercial of you and your skills and abilities and talents in that moment. So it's just like let's just use Nike, for example. You see a Nike commercial, and, they have the basketball players jumping, and you want to be a part of that. You want to be a part of that. You want those shoes, right? You have to have those shoes because you want to be able to do the thing that they're doing with the shoes on, right? Well, if you are not able to buy the shoes, and you can only see them, then that's really doing, that's like, you'd be kind of ticked off. It's like, okay, well, you showed me the shoes, but where can I get my pair so I could do what you did? Well, I think that speaking is the exact same way. When you're in front of the stage, that is your opportunity, your commercial to show people how you can help them further. That gives them the opportunity to say, hey, I like that girl. You know, she's for me. I loved her message. Or, you know, that dude was on point, you know, or he was really intelligent, or, you know, what he said really resonated with me. Whatever it may be, that's what the stage of speaking is for, in my opinion, right? So then it's like, okay, now they want to buy the shoes. And to me, that's where coaching comes in. Because now I need more, because I actually need the thing that you spoke about. So then you see how that connects, the author coaching, or excuse me, author speaking and coaching. It all really is a perfect, you know, marriage to each other. Some people say, well, I don't want to become a public speaker. Well, you really do have to talk about your book. I mean, that's just really that simple. You really have to talk about your book if you want it to be successful, because people want to hear from you. They want to hear, you know, what's beyond the book. Okay. So I just wanted to share just really quickly the marriage around that. So I want to get into the foundation. If you're using your worksheet, let's get into that. There's not going to be any slides popping up on the screen. Just so you know, I'm training you straight face to face, computer screen to computer screen, and we're going to be following along the same guide that I sent out to you. So the foundation for anything means it needs to be solid, but you really have to know what needs to go in there, right? So it's like when you're building a house, you've got the cement, but first it's dust and water. You got to blend it. It has to be the right combination, right, of ingredients, and be laid the right way in order for whatever's built upon it to be level. And this is no different. So there's several questions you want to ask yourself, but first, you know what a foundation is. And then basically, it's an underlying basis or principle for something. And for you, it's the basis for which you do business. It's the basis that you're standing on, that your brand is cemented on. It is the basis for how you will serve people in the world through the various platforms you're using as an entrepreneur. I think people, again, just get out of the box for a little bit, because sometimes we just think we're just a coach, or we're just this, or we're just that. You're a business person, and you're leveraging different mediums to get your message out there, to help people, to increase your revenue for your business. And I hope that makes sense and rings home for some people. That's really what you are, okay? So how do you know if you have a solid foundation? You know you have a solid foundation when you have when you're helping people on a consistent basis, and you're not stressed out trying to pay your bills every month in your business. That's how you know if your foundation is solid. That's the beginning. Because when you're doing this and you're stressed out and all these things are wobbling, it's because what you're standing on is not level. It's not cemented. It's not staked in the ground, right? So one of the things I want you to ask yourself is, what does a solid foundation look like for you? What is on the ground floor that is shaky? Does that mean it's your systems? Does that mean that you're not clear about your brand? Does that mean that you're not sure who you want to serve just yet? Does that mean that you're following just what everyone else is doing? Because lots of times people get sucked into the coaching Facebook funnel, trying to do what everyone else is doing, and that doesn't work. You really have to be as authentic in who you're serving, in the niche that you're serving, which, a lot of times we're meant to serve here, and we're all trying to serve here, all these people. When all these people aren't your people, they're really right here, right? So you really want to be careful about that and ask yourself, what does that look like for you, and what's currently wobbly in your own foundation? And you have these different areas, like I was saying, do you have, when people come in contact with you in reference to your business, what is the process in which they go through so that you can help them accomplish what you said you would? I'll repeat that. When people come in contact with you as a coach, speaker, author, entrepreneur, what is the process in which you take them through so that you can serve them in the way that you promised? So right there, if there's breaks in there or there isn't any way, then that's something that we want to address, and we'll talk about a little of that in impact. Are there different foundations for coaches, speakers, and authors? And I think I really kind of alluded to that earlier. Are there different foundations? I think that's a yes and no answer. As a multipreneur, whatever you want to call it, I think that the foundation that you build really starts just based on the basic bottom rock. So then the answer is no, I don't think that there are different foundations. I think it's the same foundation. And from that foundation, there are legs, there's extensions in the way that you do what you do. Okay. So you have to ask yourself, which legs are weaker right now? Which legs do you want to strengthen? Because they all bring business to your company. They all make impact in the way that you want to make impact. And then as you're building on, and we're going to get into impact into some deeper details, but I just want to kind of, again, just touch on the foundation piece. As you're building on your foundation, you want to make sure that you are connected, which is part of the reason why we're in the group, to make sure that whatever loose ends you do have, that we get them tightened up in the beginning of this 2015 session, right, of this 2015 year, so that we are clear moving forward. And I know for those of you in the group, which everyone should be at this point, my whole focus for January, or our focus, is definitely brand clarity, and that is a major foundational piece of the coach speaking, writing piece of what it is that you're doing. You'll know when you've built a solid foundation when you feel good about the process in which you take people through. Because there's several different things, and I want to just pause here for a second before we move into impact. And then the revenue piece is just crazy. So just be patient and stay with me. So on the foundation piece, you'll know when it's good when you're taking people from point A to point Z, and they are living the results that you have promised. And it's consistent and continual. And you're not chasing after one client here and one client there, because that gets very exhausting. One client, anything cannot sustain your entire business. And I think that's very important to recognize early, that you need a process. You need a process. And that's what we want to, kind of talk about. What can you do to build a foundation today? I think you want to ask yourself the questions that we've gone over. Fill out the worksheet in your own time. Really sit down with it, because I think sometimes people play with this business. Because you may be doing it part-time, maybe you have another revenue stream, but you really have to be serious in your commitment to coach, speak, and serve. You have to be serious in your commitment to show up so that you can make the impact you want and the money you want on a consistent basis. One of the other things people often ask about in regards to coaching is about certifications, and should your foundation include a certification? And I think that your foundation should include what is necessary so that your foundation is stable. To me, the certification can come later. I don't think that it has to be in the cement with the water and the dirt. I think that knowing who you want to serve and building some components can be a part of, are the initial pieces. And then the certification, if that's what you desire, is something that then you can build into the rest of your process as you become a better coach, speaker, writer, entrepreneur, business person. So it just depends. And it also depends, who's teaching the certification, where did you get it, and what all do you know as a result of it? And also knowing as well, is the certification helping you, or are you leveraging it if you do have it? I get that question often, and we're actually starting a certification program, a training program here, so that people can obtain their certifications after going through a series of courses with the Coach, Speak, and Serve Institute that we'll be launching, and some classes and courses that we'll be offering for people as we move forward. So impact, let's get into the training. Let's get deeper into the training. So on impact, what I want to share, first of all, know that this is a free training. For those of you who are in the Coach, Speak, and Serve group, everyone should be at this point because I've said it enough times. But I want you to know, like we stated on our weekly accountability calls on Sunday nights, a lot of what we do is free, and the other half of what we do isn't. So there's opportunities always to do more. There's always more. There's always more. You will never learn everything you need to learn about anything in 90 minutes, but you can learn a lot, and you can implement what you learn. And then you can still be, you can still know that there is more after that to learn, even still, right? So I want you to get a good base for today. And if you decide to move forward with us in any of the courses that we have coming up for coaches, speakers, and authors, then you can feel free to do that. If not, make sure that you take good notes. The replay will be available, and that you stay in tune. And at some point, know that you're going to have to invest, whether it's with us or someone else. You have to in your development in this business, because things are shifting rapidly, and how the business is keeping up, with creating that impact is shifting rapidly as well. So we want you to be successful, and in order to do that, you need to know what to do, and not only know what to do, but how to apply what you know. Impact. So first of all, before I move into impact, are there any questions that I can take right now on what we've covered so far? Asa, do we have any questions? Okay. So while we're waiting on questions, let's move into impact. Impact is all about the action of one object coming forcible into another object. So in other words, how are you coming into contact with your potential clients? What do you, because a lot of times some people may say, I don't have any clients, I'm not attracting any clients. When the truth is, you're not doing anything to attract any clients. There's no activity that you're producing that's attracting clients or people that could be clients. And what I want you to take away from this is why I love doing what I'm doing, because this is duplicatable, right? So let me just take you through a process that you're sitting in. So don't just listen to what I'm teaching you. Pay attention to what I'm doing as well. I say this all the time to my students in Ignite. Watch the process and duplicate the process. Success is not some whimsical secret thing. It is duplicatable with your own message and your own offerings. So you found out about this training either on my email list, from a Facebook ad. That Facebook ad then took you to a opt-in page that you signed up for after you saw my face up there and some bullet points of what we'll be going over tonight. And once you opted in, you received an email from me that had the link to this training that you're sitting on, the link to the community in which you're a part of, the Coach, Speak, and Serve Accountability Group. And you should have received the impact and revenue, the free training. It's like 20, 30 minutes via audio. That is a system. And now you're here. So in order to make impact, you have to be doing activity so that people know that you exist. So that people know that you exist. So exactly what I just did, you could do. Does that make sense? So how are you currently making an impact is the first question. What are you doing right now? And posting that you're having a telesummit on Friday is not making an impact. Or sending out an email blast to people who you've never spoken to over the course of the whole time they've been on your list, that's not making an impact. How are you communicating on a consistent basis with the people who you want to serve and who you would like to serve even deeper as they become customers and clients of yours? So answer that question. What if you had some level of impact and you were reaching people, but you lost it? So let's speak to how you can lose it. The only reason you lose impact is because you lost being consistent at what was working. So what does that mean? That means you have to, when you find something that works, which means you have to do the work, right, to create the impact, which is all about consistency. And it's not just Facebook. It's It's your online communication. It's your offline communication, but a lot of it can be built online. A lot of us we're all sitting online right now. We're all sitting online right now doing the thing that I'm doing, the thing that you could be doing. The very same thing. Okay? Excuse me. How do you feel, or how do you know if you're being too in your face, too forcible? People will let you know. Or it won't feel good to you. If you feel like it's too much, it's probably too much. If you feel like it's too much, it's probably too much. How do you make a forcible impact if you are, let's say, an introvert, or you're shy, or you're not quite sure, or you don't have that confidence just yet, or you don't have a huge client list? You know, one of the things that, and I learned this a couple years ago from one of my coaches, you really, Allison, hey Allison, because she's probably watching, you really have to be strategic in how you build up your client profile, especially if you're just getting started. And by that, I mean, does that mean that you'll end up doing some things for free? Probably. I don't know why people say people shouldn't do things for free, because they did. I don't know why people ever advise people to never do anything for free, because that's just crazy talk. And not only that, but it's not even for free. Just because you elect to waive your fee to gain experience, to learn a process for feedback, that's not working for free, because you did all the work and you reaped a benefit. So it's about the benefit that you were expecting. It's about the benefit that at the time was necessary. And if the benefit that's necessary is the experience so you can work through a process, then that sounds like a good deal. That sounds like a good deal. So there's always, whether you are, no matter where you're starting, and I can give you an example. I spoke at the YWCA. The YWCA does not pay people to speak there typically. Okay. They had, just for like their workshops and some of the smaller, things. And this was several years ago that I did this. Well, the YMCA, I have a great relationship with them, and they're a great testimonial to have. It's a reputable organization. I've spoken there several times on different occasions. And the validity of that still exists regardless of if I got paid or not. Because when I go to the next job, they're not going to ask, how much did they pay you at the Y? They're going to say, oh my God, you did such a great job. This is a great testimonial, or you had a really glowing recommendation. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. And as a speaker, especially as a speaker, I think, and we're going to get into this in revenue, but people get really caught up in getting paid to speak up front, as if it's demeaning if you decide to waive your fee. I think there's a strategy to both. And I think as long as you know the reason why you're doing what you're doing and you know it's going to work for you, then you can do that. But I think it's all about in the knowing of what you're doing. Okay. So back to revenue. What can you do to impact rather? What can you do to increase your impact right now? So a couple things you can do. We already talked about building a solid foundation. For me, and let me just share my experience, and you maybe and this could help you as well. For us, one of the things that we did was we hired a social media coordinator to assist us in managing our online profile. Why? Because I'm only one person, and because there's marketing communication, right, that needs to be disseminated, that I can't do all on my own. So on whatever scale you're on, make it fit for you. It could be as simple as you no longer working from home so you can focus on the impact you need to make. Most of you aren't planning any of your content or information so that you can make an impact. You're waking up every day and just posting stuff on Facebook, thinking people that you're going to build a business. And most of you, from what I've seen in the group, want to build a six-figure business, and that's not how that's built. Not solely. It's a piece of the pie. Okay? And it's relevant. It's extremely relevant, but it's not the only piece. Okay? Is your impact related to your commitment to serve? Ask yourself, is your impact related to your commitment to serve? I think that's a very important question to ask, because it has to be. Because if you're only in this just to make money, you're not making impact, then it really, I mean, what's the point? So you have to be very connected, I think, to the work you do. And I'm not talking to everyone. And some people just want to make money and they don't care about people. This is the wrong webinar. Just click off the screen and go find something to watch on TV. I'm talking to the people who care about other people and who want to build a sustainable business as they do it. And you have to be creating impact. That means that what are all the ways, so make a list, what are all the ways that you can reach your audience? So let's just pick five ways that you can reach your audience. And now ask yourself, are you reaching them? And not are you telling them what you're selling? Are you reaching them? Are you providing them with things they need and can use? And let me share something. The landscape of how business is done has changed. We didn't used to have to prove ourselves in the way that we do now, like this free webinar. People wouldn't be doing this when you could just walk in the store before the internet. Either you wanted to buy it or you didn't. You didn't get to try it first. And because we're in this technical space, everyone needs to try it first. That's why these opportunities exist. This is my commercial. You can see if you like me or not, if it's good content for you or not, right? So impact, really, really, really important. In regards to the coaching piece, there's several, challenges I think that exist out there. And Asa, let me know if we have any questions. Okay, so we do have a question. I'll take it. Where is it? Is it in the chat? Okay. Leslie asks, how do you increase your presence where your presence is weak? How do you increase your presence where your presence is weak? That's a really great question. Thank you for asking. How do you increase your presence when your presence is weak is being more consistent and frequent, not annoying, but frequent with the information that you're giving. And also, sometimes you just need to spend some money on increasing your presence. So I really would like to know from Leslie, what are you doing? So here's something I'd like y'all to do. When you ask a question, ask yourself, what have you already done? So her question was, what do you do if you have a weak presence? And my question back is, what are you doing right now? So what are you already doing? So then we can look at, okay, well, what's not working so we can eliminate some things. But usually it's because we're not doing enough. There's no focus. People don't know what you're offering. They're confused. And if they're confused, they can't buy. They can't make a buying decision in confusion. And what I really would love for you to do is pay attention to who's doing this well and duplicate what they're doing with your own spin. Don't steal their stuff. Don't copy everything they say. Have your own twist, but just duplicate it. Everyone's trying to be different when business isn't different. It's the same for every business. The foundation is the same. All the levels are the same. Everyone needs marketing, promotions, customer service, accounts payable, receivables, payroll. All of them have the same things. And we're running away from that when we need to really understand that it's all the same. And what are we doing? I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get so caught up in the fancy of entrepreneur, because we can make our own schedule and do this, and then you broke. Because we're running from systems that we need to make this work as a business. Because the truth of the matter is, you're a mini corporation. You're a mini corporation. And you have to start thinking of yourself as not just someone who's hustling for the next client or the next whatever their speaking fee, but that you're building a corporation so that you can fire yourself. So that's a really great question. Leslie, is there another question before I move on? Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about in regards to coaching, and I just want to kind of give this to you, is a lot of times people don't know how to coach, and which means that you can't make impact because you're not effective in your coaching. Because a lot of people haven't even been trained to be a coach. They just calling themselves coaches, but you don't know really how to coach people through a process so that they can be successful and attain the benefit or the result that you promised when they hired you. So one of the things I want to give to you before we move and talk about revenue is what I call PACA. It's something I made up, and it's about how to coach a client. It's about how to coach a client. So if you are in the Coach Speak and Serve accountability group, and I hope that you are, we're about to post an image of that, and it looks like this. Okay? Asa's posting that right now, and it says prepare. PACA stands for prepare, analyze, coach, and act. Prepare, analyze, coach, and act. There are several different ways, and anyone who's listening who's coached with me, you've been through all these components, because there's a process to help someone get to the other side of what you've promised them you will do for them. And I'm not talking about consulting, because that's different. I'm talking about coaching, right? Is it up, Asa? So Asa just posted it. You can grab it. You have 10 minutes to download it and use it. And I might decide to leave it up until I leave the office, because I'm still here. So in order to create more impact, you have to be effective, which means that the people that hire you, you have to be able to actually help them. They need to be able to go through a process. And a lot of times you can't make the impact because you don't even know the process. And this isn't about a certification. This is about knowledge. Okay? And so for our students who have gone through our training and gone through Ignite already, and we're going to talk about that here once I get done with the revenue, so stick around if you're interested. But those people, those students understand the process. And for those of you who can't see, let me just push it up to the screen. You see that? So you have to take people through a process so that they can succeed. How helpful is that? So you are effective in making true impact so that you can increase your revenue to do the things that you love. Because the first thing we're doing is serving people. And that means we're providing something that people need. Period, point blank, the end. Providing something that people need, helping them get to point A to point B, C, D, or Z. Okay? I want to pause right here and see if we have any questions before I move into the revenue. Let's take a 30-second break. If you need to run to the bathroom, cut the light off, check on the kids, do any of that, grab the calculator, switch gears, text a friend and tell them to hop on, whatever you need to do, make sure you do that. If you're in the Twitter world and you're following me at Women Recharged, I want to make sure you hashtag Coach Speak Serve and share anything that's relevant that you're learning this evening on the training. Okay, we have a question. Let me check that out. Ebony's question is, how do you transition family and friends from coming to you for advice to helping them understand this is your business and not a hobby that's for free? That's a good question. For one, so let me say this. One of the things is it's hard to transition family into customers at all, just because they feel like they know you and that they shouldn't have to pay you for anything and that they get a family pass. So I think at some point, you just have to let them know, that this is what you're doing and this is how you can help them. I think there's a respectful way to do it. Obviously, if it's your mom, there's a smoother conversation I think that needs to be had. But I still think if it's really something they want, for instance, now let me say this, like my mom is coming to my conference. I'm not charging my mom for a conference ticket. If my mom needed coaching, I'm not charging her for that either. So let's use a cousin. So if it was a cousin, not my mama, the cousin would have to pay, and they would have to go through the same process as everyone else. And I think it starts with you creating boundaries. I mean, you just have to say it. I'm no longer doing this for free. This is my business. You know, if there was some promotion you wanted to offer them or some incentive, you know, because you wanted to and it worked for you, then do that. But never make any decisions in your business that leave you stressed out in the name of trying to help somebody else who doesn't see the value in what they're doing and what you're doing, but they're willing to use it. They want it. They don't want to pay for it, but they want it. So if it's going to leave you feeling less than, then don't do it. That's just the bottom line. So it's about creating boundaries. It's about creating boundaries. I have friends, you know, that pay for my programs. I don't have anyone in a program that has not paid like a regular customer. And I really mean that. Because it's a disrespect of the relationship. And I don't really blur the lines. So I'm just real clear. I'm a businesswoman. You're a businesswoman. You are a businessman. Like Jay-Z say, I am a businessman. You know, you are a big, I mean, you really have to, I regard myself as a CEO, so I'm not playing with entrepreneurship. And you can't play with it either in the name of serving people and creating a revenue that you can actually live off of and quit your day job. And then, and this is what I do. People come to me, you guys should see my inbox. They come to me all the time, and we're about to get to revenue, but I want to make sure I answer Ebony's question completely. People come to my inbox all the time. The reason why I have free content and so much free content is for the people who are still looking and who aren't committed to paying or who aren't sure and they need a little more. That's what that's for. So think about that in your own business. Because you do want to help people on every level. So on every level, whether you can't afford anything or you can afford way up here, I have something for you. So I'm helping you in some way. So create some things that can help people. I'll give you a good example. I have a LinkedIn video. I'm not a LinkedIn expert, but there's a lot that I do know about leveraging LinkedIn and creating a great profile. I have a LinkedIn video out there that I send to people all the time that ask me about social media and LinkedIn. It has about, I don't know, 8,000 views or something crazy. And I send that to people when they ask me. I'm so serious. Friends, family, I text them the link to the LinkedIn. Here you go. Oh, sure. I got a solution for that. The same thing with MailChimp. It has like maybe 11,000 views on the MailChimp training. I'm not a MailChimp expert. I didn't get paid to do that. I did that because people kept asking me and I didn't want to ignore them. So I just provided a solution. But that solution also works for who? For me. Not only for them, but for the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people who continuously watch it, which does what? Creates more impact. So sometimes people want to get paid and we haven't sold enough. Continue to sow, continue to sow, continue to sow. That may be information, all kinds of different things, okay? We have another question really quickly before we move into revenue. We're good on time. So this is from Ms. Wilson. It says, when should you introduce a short, intermediate, and or long-term coaching package to new interests? I usually consult for half an hour and then create a service from there, but sometimes do coach more for less because I love to serve help. When should you introduce I think you should offer people whatever you think is going to help them when they need it. So for instance, if you do a consultation and the next best thing for them is something that you have is A on your list or C, just offer it. That's just the easiest answer to that. Offer people what they need. Let them make the decision if it's for them or not. And I'm going to do this at the end of this. This is to be duplicated. There's nothing to hold back here. And that's what I want people to understand. There's nothing to hold back. I mean, this is a profession. This is a trade. What do you need to get to the next level? So what do your clients need to get them to their next level? Offer it to them and let them make the decision to buy into it or not, to take advantage of it or not. It's up to them. But the fact of the matter is, they need it. Great question. Let's move into revenue. I love talking about money and numbers. I don't think there's enough money and numbers. I think we really need to talk about, people need to know what their revenue goals are. I just posted in the group, affirm, what is your 2015 money goal? What is your 2015 money goal? What is the number in this business that you need to make in order to be good with the business? So you're not just following people. At some point, you have to really start doing this as a business. So let's talk about money. So first, in the group, like I said, I just posted, I want to see some numbers in there. What is your money goal? As you can see, we have, let me switch to I have on here annual, monthly, weekly, and daily. The reason why I have it broken down like that is solely because I want you to know every single day how much money you need to make in your business. And I can give you a wonderful example of that. In my office, there are numbers, 1, 2, there's 1, 2 up there, and there's 2 on my assistant's desk in her area of the dollar amount that we need to generate every single day. Because this is a business. And I think people that serve forget that you are operating a business. Or, we have this complex that because you haven't arrived at a place that for some reason you don't deserve to make the money that you want. And I think one of the barriers that I see is you want to make it, but you don't believe you deserve to make it, which is why you're not making it. Shall I repeat that? You want to make the money, but you don't think you deserve to make the money. So the money is not coming to you. The impact is not happening, and the people aren't coming, and your whole purpose is not being fulfilled on the level in which it could be fulfilled. So those are some barriers before we even get to the numbers that we need to break down, is that you are worthy of the impact and the revenue. You have to start singing yourself a new song that you have what it takes to make the impact, to serve people, and to generate the money that comes with that in this business. Okay. If you're in the group, I have several of my clients are in the Coach and Speak group and colleagues of mine. And on a consistent basis, we work with coaches, speakers, and authors. That's who we train: coaches, speakers, authors. We show them systems on how they can generate more money, how they can start from not having a brand at all to having brand, products, and systems to make all of that work, so that they can show up in places that they hadn't shown up before, because it is a formula to making this work. You can literally generate whatever number you want, and I'm going to challenge you all at the end of this. You can generate the revenue that you want. So let's break that down. What is your annual number? What does that look like every month, every week, and then every day? So for example, if it's 100 grand, so if you had 100 grand here, this monthly number would be about $8,300, $8,333. This weekly number would be, I think, $2,083, and the daily number would be like $297, if I'm not mistaken. Need my calculator. Okay. So look at that. Whatever your number is, and don't be cliche. Don't put $100,000 if you ain't made 20. Reach the first goal. Reach your first goal. There's milestones. But what's your first goal? You would be happy on December 31st if you made how much money in this business? Whatever that number is for you, don't fall into the trap of what everyone else is doing. Okay, so whatever that number is for you, I want you to write that down. We can use $100,000 because that's easy math. So the next thing I want you to ask yourself is, what are you doing right now to generate revenue? And remember, it all starts at the foundation, which leads up into impact, because the more impact and the more you're out there, the more opportunities you create to generate revenue, right? So what are you doing right now to generate revenue? And only you can answer that question. I'm going to skip the other two questions. You can answer them offline. I want you to go to this page. I want you to go to this chart. Okay. So on the chart, as you can see, it has month January through December of 2015. And then there's 5 revenue streams listed. You could have more, you could have less, but you need to know the ways that your business generates money. So what does that look like for you? What are those streams? So you may list whatever the streams are. You can write right above the stream. So you may have books, speaking in 2, coaching in 3, live events in 4, online events in 5. For example, make it real for you. And just put the dollar. You should know the dollar amount that you want to generate. Know the dollar amount that you want to generate. And put that in your chart and start working yourself backwards. So let's say, for example, you wanted to create a online group coaching program. Okay? And let's say you wanted 20 people in your program. Let's say the program was, let's just say it was $1,000. That's 20 grand. That's not a lot. That's not a lot of people, and that's not a lot of money. But that's for example. Let's say you did that 3 times a year. 3 times a year, you had 20 people that went into your program. That's $60,000 a year. So let's say of those 60 people, you created some private retreat where 18 of them can go with you, and the retreat was $2,000. I'm literally making this up. I don't even have this example written down. I'm just making this up as I go along. So that's $36,000. $36,000 for the retreat, plus the $60,000 from your 3 runs of 1,000 is $96,000 for the year. I'm just saying, you had a group program that could have lasted a day or 3 months for $1,000. It could have been a half a day, depending on what you're offering. And of your pool of 60 people, 18 of them went on your retreat. That's 96 grand. We're making this too hard. We're making this way too hard. And you create the value. So if it's $1,000, make it worth $1,000. Make it worth actually $5,000 and sell it for $1,000. Does that make sense? That's how easy that can be. So on your chart, you may say, okay, what if in every quarter I wanted to do something and have 20 people in my live event? How much money, what does that look like? So start breaking the numbers down. Start at the ends and work yourself back with the numbers. Okay? So the only way to make more revenue is to identify where the revenue will come from and then create a plan around gaining the impact for the revenue. I want to stop here. I don't want to lose people with the numbers. So are there any questions right now? And if you have a question, just post it in the group and Asa or Debbie will catch it and they will grab it for me. Facebook is blowing up. Y'all are doing a great job. You guys are doing a great job. There's a lot going on. Okay, there is a question. So as soon as it pops up, I will ask it. Also, while we're waiting on that question to pop up, I'm super thrilled and excited I know that I'll be working with some of you all over the next 90 to 120 days in our upcoming coaching program that we have. We are opening a new institute and very excited. And the reason why is because people need this information. They need the breakdown on how to generate revenue. I'll let you know too, like one of the things that is a major breakdown, and while we're waiting on the question, Asa. Oh, okay. He said it's there. Tori Lynn has a question. Oh, Tori. Okay, Tori said, how do you stay focused? Shut out what's going on. Shut out what's going on. There's only plug into one thing. Unsubscribe. Get focused. This is like going to school. Treat this like going to school. You couldn't go to school and do everything else at the same time. You had to let something go. There's no reason for y'all to be broke. There's no reason for you to be struggling. It's just not. There's too much information, too many people that can provide it, and some good ones, including myself, for us to be unfocused. The distractions is about you. Log off of Facebook and get to work. I mean, and this is, and listen, you guys, this is the type of coach I am. This is the type of person I am. I just can't sugarcoat stuff and act like, well, and if you, no, stay the hell off of social media when it's not serving you. You create a plan and you have to check out. Even I have to check out. Because if you don't, your bank account will reflect your activity. Your bank account will reflect your activity. And if you're not doing the right activity, then you're not going to have the right number of zeros in your bank account. And whatever's distracting you, unless it's paying all your bills and helping you serve the world in the way that you were meant to serve, then you just have to put the boundaries on yourself and shut those things down. And a lot of times what I see in coaches and good people, listen, y'all are good people, okay? You want to help, you want to serve, you want to do. But we're allowing ourselves to be used and sucked into all these different arenas. Plug into one thing, two things. That's it. Let me share something with you. I don't follow anybody. Did y'all catch that? I'm not following anyone. I'm not getting I'm not reading a bunch of everyone's stuff. I'm not stalking any people. I'm not doing none of that because I'm clear. Now, when I wasn't clear, and this may be where you are right now, and not just Tori, but for anyone, then I said, okay, let me pick 2-3 people, pay attention to what they're doing. When I learn it, I'm out. That's it. They may never know I was following them. That's it. I'm done. If I need to invest, I will. If not, I won't. Because I believe in investing. I shared in the group the other day that, the first money I spent on a coaching, on a program was with Tori Johnson. It was $5,000. And then the second amount I spent was $10,000. And then it just goes on and on from there. Because you have to invest in order to learn. I mean, that's how the world works, right? So yeah, Tori, I think that's a common issue. I don't think you're alone in that. But you have to get focused. How serious are you about your business? I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of coaches, speakers, authors don't regard themselves as business people, and that's why you're not making the money you want to make, and the impact is because you're still playing with entrepreneurship, like you just hustling, and not like you a business person when you was getting up every morning at 6:35, getting dressed for work, putting on clothes, getting in the car, getting in traffic. It's like the seriousness of it got taken away. So my thing is, you got to get serious again. You got to get serious again. Great question. I love it. So let's get back on the revenue really quick. I don't want anyone to miss out on that. So again, one of the things I want to briefly talk about is the sales cycle or the funnel. This whole opt-in here, land there. And that's really that's exactly what you're in right now. But you didn't feel like you were in one. Why? Because you're in a group where I talk to you every day. And I ask questions and I talk back and we celebrate birthdays. And it's not just about me making $5. So you have to create a system of how you're going to communicate with the people who you can help on every level. There's people that this is the only level they could be at right now. But the information at this level needs to be able to get them to their first paid level. Did y'all catch that? I hope y'all caught that. Your free information should be just enough to let them know they like you and to help them get to a little piece of the next level. Every time you're able to help by another offering, another webinar, another training, a book, an ebook, a live event, it should be to elevate those people in the lane that you're rolling in. Does that make sense? Okay. So on the revenue, on your funnel, so let's say this is your funnel. Draw this, and I'll draw one. And this is a bonus because this is not in the training. So let's say this is your cycle. This is your funnel. That's so funny looking. This is the top of your funnel. This is where everyone is. This is where you are right now. You're in free. And this is why I love coaching coaches, because I don't have to BS you all about the process. You're in it. This is what you will duplicate so that you can understand it. So then that causes me to be transparent with my own process because I want you to get it. Okay? So this is the funnel. This is where you are right now. In order for me to help you, all of these, so now I'm going to draw some squiggly lines. I'm going to draw 4 options. These 4 options are different ways that I can help you. I can help you up here, which all of you all are at level 1. I can help you here. That's another level of something I'm offering that won't be free. This is another level of something that costs a little more that won't be free. And this is the other level that costs more. The idea is, what are your 1, 2, 3s, 4s? If it's 5 and 6s, what is the process of which you're helping people so that these match your revenue streams on your revenue chart? And how will you allow people to work through that cycle? The reason why it gets narrow is because that's how business works. Not everyone that walks into Dillard's buys something. The Dillard's door is a funnel. The people that buy from Dillard's, for example, come out at the end as a customer. The people who enroll in your programs or pay for you to speak, they come out at the end because they've invested. I hope this makes sense. So right now you're up here and you'll have options to go here, here, or here with me. And your customers and your clients should have the same options and opportunities. The reason why there's no money being made is because there aren't any opportunities. So you have to know how to create opportunities that are helpful for your audience and helpful for your business. Does that make sense? Okay. And this also, this is your email cycle. When people opt in, this should run your business all year long because you know what your offerings are. You know how you're going to show up and serve people. I want to stop and take a couple questions. I don't want this opportunity to pass for us to have questions on the revenue piece or even the cycle piece. Are there any questions right now? Yes. Okay. Let me take them. So Dominique Hart, what if you do not want to coach, but you rather train and consult on your clients' various projects? Oh, so absolutely. I love that because in one of our modules in Ignite, we talk heavily on the difference between coaching versus consulting. You know, consulting is when people are doing the work. I am a consultant. I do work. So I think it's your job, Dominique, to present the distinction with your clients, because some of my clients I coach and consult, and some of my clients I only coach. Consult means I am doing the work. They hired me to do the job. So they don't just want a funnel. They don't want to learn how to do a funnel. They want me to do it. So the distinction is that you have to show them what the distinction is. If you want me to show you, I equate that to, like a football coach. The football coach is not in the game. He's on the sidelines telling the players the right moves to make. He's forcing things in advance to prevent them from making different mistakes. So that's a really great question. So I would just be clear and outline what that is and what that looks like. Like on our consulting contracts, they include coaching because they are two different things. If people are confusing them, unconfuse them by educating them. Okay? Sherry asks, now that I've written the book, I speak at conferences, I encourage people, but I do all this because this is who I am. How do I convert what I do naturally at church to building a business? I don't know what's next. Okay, so I think I spoke to that already, is what are you offering beyond the book? So that's kind of a part of the challenge is, how do you identify what your signature products are beyond the book? Because sometimes the book is just the book. But you can take the book and you can create programs from the book. You can create content from the book. Really, you can. And I know what your book is. I have it on my bookshelf. I wish I had it sitting here. If had I known you was going to ask a question, I would have had it up and I would have flashed it. Can somebody get it? So Sherry, that's a really great question. You're not positioning yourself as a business person. You're just positioning yourself that you wrote the book. Everybody see? Yeah. Dr. Sherry, excuse me. My assistant just told me to say doctor. Let me get myself straight. That is her first lady at the church, so I'm not going to step on no toes on there. Okay. So yes, absolutely. You guys are awesome. So that's a really good question. Really, it is. And the title of Dr. Coleman's book is Gained Everything Without Giving Up Anything. And those are her two beautiful sons on the cover with her. And so, yeah, Sherry, you really have to ask yourself, what does this look like for you? So, if the book is right in here in the middle between 1 and 2, because it's not a high revenue generating item, what is the number 1? And then what are they going to do after the book? Okay, so you wrote the book. Now, how are you going to help me? What's the next thing? Because now I need something else. Right? Great question. Is there another question? Okay. Great job. Okay, if you didn't write your revenue goals in, I encourage you to post those in the group. Why? It's not to call you out. It's just to hold you accountable. It's just so you can affirm that is what you want. So you can know that you're worthy of saying those words, that is what you want. I really want to make sure that you guys have the whole revenue piece, that you understand that there has to be some way that people are working through what you have. So for example, what it could look like, and I'm going to go a little further. So let's say we got free up here. Let's say we got $10 and we got, I guess I shouldn't say we got, that sounds so country, huh? But I'm from Alabama, so I get a pass. So let's say 750 and then let's say 2,000 down here. So let's just say, this is just, me scribbling a few numbers. $10, you have a free, then you have something here on the back end. Then you have a higher price. This could be a live event, $299, right? You got a $750, you got a $2,000. This could be a $20,000. It could be a $10,000. Well, depending on your level of what you're offering, it just depends on what you're offering. So you have to ask yourself, what does it look like for you? How are you helping people, and what are you offering them along the way? Okay, what are you offering them along the way? All right. One of the things that people say, well, but Aprille, I only have one book, one client, and we're offering. How do I generate multiple revenue streams? I'm glad Sherry asked her question, because it kind of brings me to the revenue pieces, that from a book, you can create a program. From a book, from any tips, you can create a program. If you had 7 tips to living your best life, you can do a 7-week program off 7 tips to living your best life. And each week is a tip. And you just add on to that. So now what are the action steps that need to be taken to make that come true for them? There's a program. How can it be delivered? It can be delivered just like this. It can be delivered on free teleconference. It can be delivered via email and supported in a Facebook group. Look how much support you're getting in a free Facebook group right now. How much support, was it Samantha, shout out Samantha. Happy birthday, Kiana. And happy belated birthday, Samantha. Samantha was looking for 3 people for her podcast, and I think she has like over 40. I had to even ask her, girl, do you need me to delete this post? Because you might be getting overwhelmed. She was like, I'm booking for the rest of the year now. Leverage. You got to see the benefit in all of it on creating impact. Are you using what is available to you, benefiting everyone? Everyone needs to win. Everyone needs to win. So I really hope that this information has been helpful for you. You know, one of the things, like I said, when I was, Kelly's just all in the frame. She's like, I'm doing my job. Excuse me, I got a warning. I got a warning. Keep me on my toes. I just really want to say thank you all so much. And for those of you who are already nosy and asking me about the link at the bottom of your your worksheet, yes, you can go there. What we're going to be doing, even beyond this, and please ask more questions. I'm going to hang out here for another probably 30 minutes. So ask more questions about anything, the impact, the revenue, clients, and sometimes you don't ask enough questions. You know, don't feel intimidated. Don't feel like you should know it already. Who knows it already? Besides the people who have paid to learn it or made so many mistakes that they've learned it. So don't feel, inadequate because you don't know. You're here because you want to know and you want to do better and you want to increase your impact and your revenue. So one of the things that we are very excited to be connecting with people, and we have several people on the training, Nisi Black, Rhonda White, who's one of our facilitators, Debbie Martinez, or better known as Deborah Fox, and some other, Tiffany Mayfield, other students. We have probably maybe 20 or 30 others in our Ignite training program. And if you go to coachspeakserve.com/more revenue, there's an opportunity there for you to go through our 12 or 16-week training, either through the home study course or the live VIP training over 16 weeks. So I don't want to lose you with that either. And pay attention to this process. This is a learning opportunity. You don't have to sign up, but you need to know it because you're going to end up doing it. So watch the process. Whether it's a retreat, whether it's a workshop that you have coming up, you need to understand what the process is. So if you go to Coach Speak Serve, more revenue, there is an opportunity, and there's a link in the group, so you can click that as well. There's an opportunity for you to work with me and our team to help you through the obstacles of coaching. This is a comprehensive training method on how to ignite and build your business for new and existing coaches, speakers, and authors. Class starts on the 20th. It is a classroom setting where you will have access to all the training modules. And each week for the VIP side, we meet and do a Q&A. Yes, every single week for 16 weeks. We meet. And so there's 12 weeks of training and 4 weeks of implementation support for those of you who are interested in working with me and my team of coaches directly. Then that's what we'll be doing. So you'll walk away with all the tools that you need to make this happen. Now, some of you may be asking, some of you may need to know, what is this form that I'm using? This is a lead page. So for any of you who are, going to be offering things, and again, because I teach people who do what I do or who are coaches, then I can share those resources with you. This is Lead Pages from leadpages.net. I integrated it with a WordPress plugin, and it's on my website. That's it. Lead Pages is $67 a month. So do you understand what I'm saying? It's not just knowing what to do. You see it, but you don't know how it works. And that's important. And those are some of the things that we'll be going over. So there's a couple different opportunities. You can do the home study course, which is self-paced. It's normally $9.95, and it's $6.95 over 3 months, and you can pay, or excuse me, over 5 months, and you can pay $139 a month for that. My role as a leader is to provide opportunities for people who also want to be leaders. And part of those opportunities is this free training. And an additional part of the opportunities are other offerings that are not free, because this is a business. So if you're interested in either of those, I would invite you to take action on those, because we only have 20 spots on the home study. Now, let me explain something to you. For the home study, that's really for the person who doesn't need or want the accountability, and they really can just get it. They can just get it. The VIP is for the people who want the accountability and want to be able to ask questions on a consistent basis and want to be able to work through all the assignments and the worksheets, and who also want the additional month or 4 weeks of implementation support. So not only are you learning it, but as you're implementing it, you have support to make sure that all your dots are connected correctly, so that your end goal is being met. And the end goal is, again, creating more impact and more revenue. The cost of the VIP coaching program is $24.95, and you can save by paying in 5 installments of $399. You can save $500 today. I think one of the things about coaching is people don't want to talk about money, as if we're not all in business to generate money. We just got through talking about funnels. So somewhere, our program is a part of our funnel. So you have to ask yourself, what is in your funnel, and how do you get people into your cycle so that you can serve them for the things that they need? Again, providing value for what it is that they need. That's very important. I want to go through the modules. And are there any questions while I'm... Oh, there's 4 questions. Okay. So before I go through the modules, I want to, and you can scroll down on the page. So anyone wants to scroll down on the page and check out what the modules are, please do it. And I'm going to answer these questions. So the first one is, can you share a tip on developing systems to attain revenue streams daily? Developing systems to attain revenue streams. That's a really big question. So one of the things I can say is, what is your marketing system? I use Entreport. It's similar to Infusionsoft. Entreport is $297 a month. I think it's easier to work than Infusionsoft, and it's just as robust as Infusionsoft. So that's what I use, and that's what you opted into, was Infusionsoft via a lead page. Michelle asks, any advice on how you ignite your coaching speaking business if you run a pre-existing business? It's the same thing as if you had a full-time job. You have to make the time. When are your working hours for this business? When are your working hours for this business? And is the program offered only once a year? No, it's not offered once a year. When will I offer it again? I don't know. Right now, we're working through, someone just asked that question. So we're working through how we want to provide the service. And once we go through the students that we're enrolling right now, then we'll assess it, make changes, and then come back out with whatever we need to. I'm not sure when that'll be. That's a great question. To Michelle, I want to make sure I finish her question. You have to make the time. She said, Michelle also asked, is there training? Is there an in-person coaching training in OKC? So Dion, if you want to come to OKC for a VIP day with me, then you can do that, and we can go through coaching and training. But it really depends on what you need. So if you want to get with Kelly, can you get with Dion Stalling? Dionne. So my assistant's going to get with you, Dion, and let's assess what you need before we think we need you to come to Oklahoma City. Because it might be something we can do virtually, because I do work with a lot of clients that way. Very good questions. So let me go over the module. So first of all, let me say the first 10 people to enroll in either course get a VIP ticket to the conference March 20th and 21st, which is Coach Speak and Serve Yourself to a Fabulous New You. The ticket's non-transferable. The bonus that I'm giving in addition to all the 12 modules is how to build a simple sales funnel using Facebook, which is what I just did. It's what you're in. I'm teaching you exactly what I do. It's not a secret. It's really not a secret. but we only have so many people that we can work with, because I like intimate, I like working with people. I like knowing their names. I just don't want people to be a number. So we try to keep it at an intimate level. So module 1, what we go over is building a solid foundation. Okay. It's where you'll learn techniques about tracking the expenses, setting up your office properly, professional expectations, your intentions, all the things that help build a solid foundation, which is what we talked about. In module 2, we talk about all the different ways that you can market and build upon the impact that's necessary on a consistent basis in order to generate the types of revenue that you want to generate. So I can give you an example. I think we probably, over the last 4 months, and I'm going to pull a report from my bank statement. I'm going to tally it up, and I'm going to post it in the group. I'm going to post it in the group because it's real. Okay. Number 3, speaking types, roles, and booking. So speaking types, roles, and booking, we talk about the type of speaker you are, how to book speaking gigs. Number 4, speaking part 2, we talk about what to do on the stage and your post-stage activity, i.e. back of the room sales. So how do you generate more money at the back of the room and not just on the speaking fee? And that's something I'll be working with celebrities moving into the second part of this year and into 2014, is working with people that have a high profile and who want to generate additional money speaking. So that's a fun module. Module number 5, product development, is where I show you how to create step-by-step the ebooks, audio programs, group coaching programs, platforms, webinars, and all those things that you need to complete your revenue model. So all the things that you will end up putting here are the things that we will actually go over and in great detail. Module number 6, how to create, nurture, and leverage partnerships. We will go through that extensively. Module 7, cementing your online presence. We'll talk about branding, the websites, tweaks in building your audience, engagement, 7 things you need to avoid when building your online presence. So we'll go through all of that. And again, for the VIPers, we'll be meeting every single week. Classes start on both sides on the 20th of this month. So if you're interested, then enroll. You can enroll now. If you're interested in paying just one time, you can scroll to the bottom of the page and you can just click either button to enroll right now. And my assistant will get with you Monday morning. Modules 8 through 11 are all on coaching. There's 4 modules solely on coaching, because it's a huge piece of it. We've got several pieces in there on the speaking, but there's 4 modules on coaching, and there's a reason for that, because there's a lot to it, because it can sustain you. You can build a living doing it, and successfully, and not where you are feeling like you're a counselor, because that's not what coaching is. And then module 12 is exciting, because we actually have an in-house trademark and patent paralegal who will teach you how to file your own trademarks. I just saved you $2,000. Seriously. How to file your own trademarks, what to look for, and all of those things that you need to protect all of this proprietary information that we'll be creating as a result of the program. From the very first module, you'll be creating products. In the very first module, you'll create your first product is your assignment. So I'm really looking forward to connecting with people who are interested. If you have enrolled, then let us know that you've enrolled so we can celebrate your success. But I just want you to know that when we went through our other students who have already gone through Ignite, this is an amazing opportunity to learn it from the person who you trust to do, who you've been seeing doing what you want to do. It's an amazing opportunity to work side by side and to be able to do that and to have the type of access that you need in order to make those big leaps. So those are all of the components of the Coach Speak and Serve Ignite training that we have, both on the home study and the VIP side. Again, if you do have any questions for me, just let me know. But I do want to run into a couple other things. Oh, I want to make sure I say, on the home study, we only have 20 spots, and we can't take any more than that. And then this expires this Sunday night at 11:59. So whatever we have at that time, we're going to shut it down because we want to get started. And we want to get started with our next wave. The people I'm interested in working with are the people who know how this business works. The people who I'm interested in having speak on the stages at my events are people who I know what they're doing beyond the stage. That is important to me. It's important to me because I want them to make money. I want them to make an impact, and they can't do that if they don't know how. So that's why we created this platform, and that's why we created the group. So if you have any questions, post them in the group. Asa or Deborah will catch them. One of the other things I want to say in regards to the training is, if this was beneficial for you, if this is giving you some things to think about, let me know. Post it on Facebook. Tag me. Hashtag Coach Speak Serve and let me know. If you still have questions, ask. Don't walk away from this experience feeling inadequate or overwhelmed. Walk away with a knowing that there's some work to do. And where you need work, because you don't need work on everything. And maybe there's a few tweaks here and a few tweaks with there and a mountain to build over here, and that's okay. But know that that exists, but that you can do it and that there is support out there for you. For those of you who are consistent in the group, you know that the group is free. Every week on Sunday night, we'll meet for accountability. We'll check in. Once a month, we'll have someone come on and they'll give a 30-minute training with no offer. Do y'all catch that? I need you to watch the process. Don't just get caught up in the mystery. The exact same thing that is done. This is your business. Replace my face with yours. This is your business with your own thing. This is your business with your own thing, with your offering. For those people who said, they haven't got paid speaking yet, when we asked the question the other day, we haven't done the thing yet. I spoke and I haven't done this. It's only because we're not putting in the formula to the action that we really want in order to create the impact and revenue. Asa, do we have any questions? Okay, I missed Miss Fulbright's question. Okay. She said, what about getting sponsorships for live programs? How do you approach the sponsors you want to onboard? You mean, sponsors for live events? So sponsors for live events, basically, first of all, you need to know what they need. That's a big question. I can't answer that on this platform. That's a huge question. I will be happy to answer it. The short answer is you need to know what they want, how and what they need, what they're looking for in a partner, what you're offering, and why they should give you their money and a sponsorship package. Those are the first few things. Because the truth of the matter is these companies don't care about you. They only care about you if you can show them how your audience matches and how your audience can potentially support what they have to offer. Okay? So think about that. And how do you approach them? You make a call. You ask who handles community partnerships or sponsorships. And you build a rapport with that person. And you say, I'm having an event and I wanted to see if what we're doing is in alignment with what your plans are for 2015. What are you all looking to do? This is our audience. Great question. Delmar says, what strategies are good in building a list that is non-existent? My question, so let me finish the question because I can see it, but y'all can't. What strategies are good in building a list that is non-existent or one that has less than 100 contacts? My question to you is, what are you doing now to build a list? The answer probably is, and not just for Delmar, but for most of the people watching, is they're not doing anything. They're not asking people to opt in, or whatever your lead magnet or gateway product or free offer is, you either haven't created it or you're not offering it, or it no longer matches your audience. So you have to be consistently so I'll give you an example. On this training, we have over 350 people that signed up. I ran a Facebook ad. I spent $20 a day for 5 days. That's it. Facebook ad, a picture, a link to my opt-in page that's connected to Entreport, which is where my email list sits. That's how that's done. And then you do it consistently. So what is your lead magnet on a consistent basis? Because that's the only reason why people care to get on your list is because you gave them something that was beneficial. Great question, Delmar. I really feel like that is the biggest issue with why coaches, speakers, and authors aren't making any money is because they're not building a list. They have no one on their list. Great questions, really great questions. So in closing, first of all, I just want to say thank you all. I'm super excited for all of you all who have stepped up and who will be joining us over the next 16 weeks through the conference time. I'm excited about everyone in the group because this is our community. You know, I'm not new to this. I didn't just start having a group on Facebook. I've been doing this for years. I love it. It's what I do. This is our business. I come here every day, and I usually don't leave until 7 o'clock because we're constantly coming up with different ways on how we can serve you. You know, if you look at our board over here, and I'm going to show this to you just so you can see it without knocking everything down. That board over there, all of that is programming and ideas and thoughts and how we're going to do the next thing. All so that and the next thing is you. How we can help the people that do what we do successfully. So that's what our program is about. That's what Coach Speak and Serve is about. And that's why we shifted the conference to Coach Speak and Serve, because we really want to talk to those people who are ready to really make a huge impact. So if this training has been helpful, let me know. I look forward to fielding some more questions. I'm going to sit in the group for a little bit. It's 8:33. I'm just over 90 minutes. I think I'm right at 90 minutes, actually, because I got started a couple minutes late. I really appreciate it. Remember that there's only so many spaces that we can have. And I can just say, you know, there's people in the group that have been through the program that you can ask. I think Deborah posted a tag. You could ask them directly. Don't take my word for it. And none of them was in the program for free. They all paid the $2,000, just so you all are aware. And they didn't get 16 weeks. They got 12. So, you know, it's really, this is my life's work in helping people stand on stages, stand in front of people and be able to deliver their message, make an impact, and generate a revenue. But people who care about other people. And that's just it. All I could do is teach you what I know. And the more I learn, the more I know. And I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about this 2015. I'm excited about this 2015 being different than any other year before. And I'm excited about it for you. So if you're ready to make an impact and the revenue that you know that you deserve in this year and beyond, then I invite you to enroll in Coach Speak and Serve. I will see you all in the group here shortly. If you have any questions, come hang out with me there. If you have any questions about the program, just hang out in my inbox and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Also, really quickly, what am I using right now to do this webinar? I'm using Webinar Jam. Webinar Jam is connected to Google Hangouts in order to provide this for you. Our Webinar Jam is $297 a year. It's $297 per year. I partnered with two other people. We paid for it, and all the three of us use it together. So we don't have to all pay $300. You see what I'm saying? It's things like that. Work together to achieve the success that you want to achieve so you can not make the mistakes and spin your wheels, because this is so easily done. You just need to know what to do. Stick around. I'll see you all next time. Thank you so much. Have a good night.